And Cdjr dealerships are at it again, doing the shady add-ons and slipping them in the deal sheets and trying to convince buyers who are looking at maybe finally, after years of ridiculous markups, overpricing, stingy, greedy dealerships of finally getting deals on cars with huge manufacturer rebates coming down from Stellantis to try to right the ship and get sales moving so that these dealers can actually regain a relationship with their customers of honesty and integrity. What do the dealers do the second they get an opportunity to offer these cars at screaming deals to the customers and I don't know, revive their relationship, repair their relationship with their customers? What do? They pull the shells out and they start playing shell games with us again. And I got an email or a message from a subscriber who said I could share this, that Brickell Cdjr in Miami, Florida, almost had a deal. If it wasn't for them screwing it up, they advertised this Jeep at one price and then negotiated to a screaming price, made him feel really good, and then added back in almost $5,000 worth of garbage rather than just letting him take the Jeep Gladiator at a screaming price and building a relationship for life with this guy and having him go out there and be a raving fan instead of just simply holding firm at the price that they were asking and letting him have all the overpriced add-ons for free and then being seen as guys that were honoring the advertised price. I mean, it was so simple that all they had to do was just do what they offered online. But instead, they negotiated and then added back on. How does it make any sense? Why? And then burned the deal with the customer. It blows my mind because they've got in their head they need to make X amount of profit on every car, despite so many of these things sitting and not selling. Let me show you this deal. All right, so here is the Jeep in question that this gentleman, my subscriber, was trying to buy. They were knee-deep in the deal, and they've got discounts all offered here, but we know that there's significantly higher discounts been offered by Stellantis, but nonetheless, they're offering the car, the Jeep Gladiator, at, let's call it a truck, $33,715, assuming that he would qualify for these discounts, which we know oftentimes people don't. So they show up and they go, well, you don't. It's actually $34,000 or it's actually $40,000. But if you see this on its face, $44,000 down to about $34,000, hey, we're heading in the right direction for sure, because this was stupid. After tax license, you're over $50,000. Here, you're probably approaching $37,000, $38,000. So we're already in a great place. It gets the buyer into the dealership, but then the buyer shows up, and like all of you should be doing, you need to start negotiating from this price down, because you're probably not qualifying for maybe the first responder discount. Maybe you don't qualify for one of these other things, or maybe there is significantly more rebates and discounts being offered by the manufacturer that they haven't told you about, but they know that they can discount to and still get basically what they need, their invoice for their car, or a little better than that, and still getting a profit. So let's look at the deal sheet and where things got sideways and how they just killed this deal. So here it is. That was the same car. There's the VIN number of the same truck over there at this dealership. And here's the deal sheet. $44,440 is basically MSRP. Total savings and rebates, assuming these are all from the manufacturer, and maybe even them discounting a little bit. I don't know, because they've all baked it into this line. Selling price, minus the rebates, $28,886. So here's the deal. He was cool. He's like, let's roll. Let's boogie. I'm buying it. But then they add in permaplate, which is basically it's like a cheap ceramic coating type thing. It's online. I found folks on Reddit saying it's about $155 cost to the dealership. So maybe it's a $300 legitimate fee, but also when you Google permaplate, it's pages and pages of people calling it a scam. So I would say it has zero value, and it's something I wouldn't opt for on the thing. I would want to go get my own ceramic coating, and believe me, for $1,000 on a brand new car that doesn't need paint correction, you should be able to get a very nice quality professional ceramic coating put on that thing. But that's not what you're getting with PermaPlate, I would venture to guess. GPS theft protection, it's a $100 thing. It's not a $1,300 thing. So that's ridiculously overpriced. Infotainment shield, that is a plastic screen. Let me show you what that looks like. That goes over the infotainment screen from $23 down to $7. And they sell them fit for every single car on Amazon and online, or you can cut them down to fit. So let's just say it's a $7 to $20 expense for infotainment shield, $400 for a screen protector. Clear shields, no idea what the hell that is, but it's $300. All-weather floor mats, I went and did the research, and they're about right around $200 on the Mopar website. Let's go here. Right here, $202 right now, $250, meaning you can go back to the parts department and purchase these things for about $200 at the same dealership who's selling you the car. You can walk from one room to another room and get it for about $200. You can also go to Amazon and get these exact same Mopar all-weather floor mats for a Jeep Gladiator for about $165, $170. So $300, it's significantly too high, considering that exact dealership gets a profit, makes a profit at $200. At like $212, they already make a profit. So this is just profit on top of profit. And then taxes, nothing you do about it. $1,284 in processing and dock fees. And look, I'm good with, I've always said this, I'm good with $250, $300. I've even volunteered up to settle at $500, but I think it's about $100 to $150 for their staff to process all those fees in labor, in time. But $1,300, unless they have a $500 an hour attorney doing this, they are getting paid way too much to do the processing and dock fees. That's ridiculous. Unless I'm missing something, that's crazy. You've got taxes and government fees. Fair enough. I'd want details on the government fees just to be sure. It's probably simply licensing, but I want to make sure that's fair. That's the right number. But overall, if I just take the processing and these fees, it's about $4,900 that they're hitting him with. And if you look at $28,886 compared to what they're asking, they should be able to sell him that car for that price. He's not getting a deal. He's basically still paying $33,700, $34,000 for that Jeep. So nothing's really changed. They spent all this time negotiating, but because they acted like they're doing him a deal, added all this stuff back in, he's basically paying the same amount of money as what they're asking for the Jeep. So it's not like they were necessarily charging him way more than what they were asking. It's more so that they're not really giving him much of a discount from what they're willing to do openly on their website. And that, I believe, is a shell game. And he came back and said, which this is great, he watches the channel, and I appreciate him doing this, standing up to him. He wrote to the salesman, I can buy those exact wheel locks on Amazon for $62. He's right. You can go to Amazon and get them. You can literally go to Mopar and get them. $69.86 right now on Mopar Parts Outlet. Or just go to the dealership. And the worst is probably going to be like $80. But he's right. $62 on Amazon. Nitro in tires is nitrogen air. If you call the service department at the dealership and ask them, I did this on a video. I literally got them on recording saying this. They knew they were being recorded. And the guy said it was like $7 per tire. If you just drive the thing right back to the service department, they would put it in for you. If you go to Big O Tire, I think they said they charge the same thing. It's like $5 or $6 per, maybe it was $4 per tire. So that is, let's say it's a $20, $25 expense, and they're charging for $300 for wheel locks and $7 or $20 in nitrogen. It's ridiculous. So that leaves us with the processing dock fees of $1,284. So bottom line is, all this stuff is just garbage. But he came back and said, oh no, let's go back to the text message. All right. So he said, I have my own infotainment screen shield that cost me $10 on Amazon. And I have my own GPS theft protection, which cost me $90. $28,886 plus $600 doc fees, which he's being very generous. I'd be fine with that. And tax, and I'll be in at the top of the hour. I'm 12 minutes away. That means this deal is done. This deal is done at the price that he's willing to pay it, that they said they were willing to come down to, absent those ridiculously overpriced add-ons. And they write back, thank you for your feedback on that price. I want to assure you that all the items are already installed on the unit, and the discount you're receiving along with all the accessories represents the best price we can offer. I hope you understand the value of this great deal. It's a great opportunity that may not be available in the future. Based on the amount of Gladiators that are lining dealership lots in America, I can promise you this much. He will get that deal that he's seeking to get. These guys are losing the deal. Brickle, if you're watching this, he will get that deal. Remove those add-ons, let the nitrogen out, suck the nitrogen out, and take those lug nuts and give them back. He'll go back to parts and get them for $69 and move on. Keep your $300 plastic shield, and you guys have a deal. This is ridiculous, but I get it. We want to just make profit. Then that's cool. Then just hold firm at your $33,700 price. Tell them, no, that's the best we can do. We're not charging you for any add-ons, nothing. Actually, what you should do is tell them, but here's the deal. You get a value package. You get all this stuff for free. And then hold firm at that price. If you really think that he can't get it anywhere else, you think it's not going to last very long. The other issue I have is just that on their website, if you look, they didn't disclose almost $5,000 in garbage. They didn't disclose all the add-ons and stuff. And if you go to their disclaimers down here, there's nothing that says add-ons. It talks about, all their little outs. Pricing may vary significantly, and options can change the price, and consult the dealer for price and details. All their offers here are for informational purposes only. You may not qualify for the discounts and incentives and all this other stuff. Like, they've given themselves an out, so maybe the FTC can't come and do any medieval stuff to them. But if you just Google, do pre-installed dealer add-ons have to be disclosed on the website? Well, the FTC apparently believes that it does. They should be added. They should be listed there. Now, these guys will come back and say, yeah, but we're still at the price we're asking with those add-ons, so you can't do anything horrible to us. I don't know how that'd work. I think the FTC might have an issue with it, but who am I? Here is the consumerfed.org website, where it says, we require dealers to accurately disclose whether the purchase of the add-ons is a condition of the purchase of the vehicle. Well, it absolutely is being portrayed that way at this point based on that text message. And I just think in the end, folks, it's pretty ridiculous. Anyways, folks, I just had to share this. Buyer beware. If you're going to get a discount off of the advertised price, don't let them add back in all this garbage. Don't pay for this overpriced stuff. Do the research right in front of them. Do what this subscriber did. Tell them what that stuff actually costs and be real clear with them. As a matter of fact, if you're in the dealership and parts is open, walk back to parts. Ask the salesman to walk back and ask straight up how much for locking lug nuts, how much, ask service, walk over to them and say, how much to put nitrogen in my tires, how much for an infotainment shield. All these things, a lot of these things are sold right there at the parts department for a third or less than what they're asking on these add-ons. So don't fall for this stuff. Stay strong. Be willing to walk from the deal. And like this gentleman, hold firm. My guess is that this dealership's going to call him back and go, all right, give us $1,000 for all that junk since it's already on there. And you know what? That may be a fair deal at that point. But to push this stuff on him at those outrageously inflated prices is just disingenuous. And it is a problem that I've had forever with these guys. And you know what? It weakens the relationship between dealership and customer, because not a single one of us are going to feel good if we pay for all that junk and we go home and we watch one of my videos and find out that these guys just nailed me for $1,300 for a $90 GPS device, or for a $7 or $10 screen protector. We're not going to like that dealership, which means we will not go back to that dealership. We will not refer people to that dealership. And that's where these dealerships are hurting themselves over a little bit extra money. Move these cars, Dodge. Move these cars, dealers. Stop playing the shell game. Please like, subscribe, comment, and just be careful out there. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.